Coming up in Mountain News this morning, school districts turn their focus to meeting the needs of students and staff who were impacted by historic floods in our region. And an older school building becomes a lifeline for students of two schools here in our region that were destroyed by the flooding.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's 5:34 on this Friday morning. I'm Dakota Makris, and if you all were watching the first 30 minutes of the newscast, I apologize. I don't know what I was going on there. I was a mess. But let's take it over to Cameron Aaron this morning, who is not a mess this morning.
Never a mess.
You know what? I will withhold comment on that one.
Good, you should.
But you know what's not a mess this morning is the forecast.
Yep, yeah, that's exactly it. The weather is not a mess this morning. So we are dealing with a few areas of patchy fog in some places. Here's a live look this morning over in Whitesburg from Letcher County. Visibility just more than 1 mile there, and current temperature is sitting at 64, so comfortable, but we are looking at some patchy fog this morning. Less than half a mile in Jonesville, sitting at half a mile in Williamsburg, 4 miles in Middlesboro, and under 2 miles in Monticello. So we are looking at some dense fog this morning. Use caution as you head out the door. Temperatures in the middle 60s for most of us. But look at Clintonwood sneaking in with a 59 degrees this morning, 63 in Wise, 64 in Harlan, and 65 over in Manchester. Up on Pinpoint Doppler, one shower, a heavier shower over portions of Mingo County, West Virginia, over the Del Barton community there, over portions of Highway 52 and Highway 119. So if you're driving along those highways, you may run into some heavy rainfall this morning. But the good news is the weather is looking fantastic as we get later on into today. Plenty of sunshine and blue sky. Temperatures upper 70s, well below average for this time of the year. I have your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Dakota.
All right, Karen, thank you. Well, the Pulaski County Sheriff is investigating a deadly crash that happened late Wednesday afternoon. Deputies say Crystal Crank was driving north on Highway 27 when she crossed into the oncoming lane and hit a car driven by Wesley Wall head-on. Wall was pronounced dead at the scene by the Pulaski County coroner. The passenger in Wall's car was also injured and taken to Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital. Deputies say while talking with Crank, they noticed a strong alcohol smell and say she had slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, and unsteady movement. Crank was arrested and faces several charges, including murder and DUI. Eastern Kentucky superintendents say they're turning their focus to meeting the needs of students and staff impacted by the historic flooding in our region. During a meeting on Thursday with the Kentucky Department of Education, Letcher County Superintendent Denise Yance says at least 1,200 homes in her county are no longer livable. She says she's worried about enrollment numbers and her students in Breathitt County. In Breathitt County, the superintendent says 56 staff members were directly affected, and in one school alone, 81 students lost everything.
And so we're really trying to drill down to provide lists. We're kind of struggling with, we've probably made initial contact with almost everyone. We're still struggling. We're still finding people that may be displaced in a home that we didn't know about, that didn't even tell us when we called them where they was.
Well, for schools that were turned into donation distribution centers, there is now an effort to move those centers to other locations. That will allow districts to prepare for the school year. A majority of the 18 impacted districts have had to push back the start of school. Well, change is coming for the students and staff of Buckhorn School and Robinson Elementary in Perry County. As it stands, there is no way they can go back to those flood-damaged buildings. James Fugate is set to begin his 9th year as a principal. He spent his first 3 years at A.B. Combs and the rest at Robinson. Now he's about to go back to where it all started. A.B. Combs Elementary has not been used for educational services in the last 5 years. But now all of a sudden it becomes a lifeline for both students from Robinson and Buckhorn.
Trying to keep Robinson together and taking those values and those traditions that Robinson has had over the years and just moving that culture and that community to a different location.
Students will be traveling farther distances to school, and other changes could be coming, but Fugate believes now is the time to swallow one's pride and accept a lending hand when it comes forward. The Marshall University men's basketball team volunteered at the Flood Relief Distribution Center at the old JCPenney building here in Hazard. Well, members of the team came from West Virginia to do what they could to support Eastern Kentuckians. Starting guard Tavion Kinsey says it was their duty to give back to the community, even if the flood happened in a different state.
Our university has been trying to get our sports teams and our athletic teams to go out into the community and, you know, try to give back. So when we heard about the flood down here, we decided that we were going to wake up and that we were going to go and help and do all that we could.
Well, he says they hope to partner with Eastern Kentucky University for more flood relief efforts. Well, kids in Breathitt County were treated to a little fun in the sun yesterday, a nice change of pace from weeks of rain. Bounce houses were brought to Murray Roberts Elementary School to give families a break from flood cleanup and allow the kids to take their mind off of recent tragedy. School staff know they'll need a lot of support when school starts.
And I know there's stories all over the region of kids being pulled out of their homes.
Well, the school has also been giving away donations and received a special visit from country music artist Tyler Booth. The school's start date has been pushed back since so many children are still in shelters and without running water. Murray Roberts hopes to start on August 29th. People in Pike County are hitting the trails and getting some exercise, but are also making a few stops along the way to read a good book. Our Jordan Mullins visited Pikeville's Story Trail and shows us how the city and county libraries are partnering to welcome people to explore exciting settings and places both on and off the page.
The City of Pikeville and the Pike County Library have partnered to bring books out of the library and into the woods of Pikeville's Story Trail.
We have 24 posts along the trail with individual pages of a story all along the trail, and the idea is that you and your family can come read the story as you walk the trail.
The trail opened on Monday at Bob Amos Park, and folks of all ages have been visiting the trail throughout the week to read a good book and get some exercise.
It's a quarter-mile long. It's ADA accessible. It is classified as easy. There's no incline. You're not going downhill or uphill throughout the entirety of the trail. So it's, you know, it's a trail for everybody. There's no restrictions here that can prevent you from coming out and enjoying this trail.
The trail's story is changed each month, but Program Director Maggie Salisbury says the library also has holiday events being planned.
We change the story every month during the warm months that people can come out, and we want to have special events when we can, especially for the holidays and things.
Combining nature and literacy.
When you add all of that together, it just it increases the experience to more than just reading a book or just walking a trail. Mix the two together and you get the best of both worlds. And the kids really do love it.
To bring people together and have some fun, exercising body and mind. In Pikeville, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Patrick Collins adds there will be a ribbon cutting for another trail at Bob Amos Park later this month called the Rail McCoy Trail that is meant to challenge even the most seasoned hikers. You can find more information about the trails on WYMT.com. We just had this morning, Disney sees a spike of subscribers for its streaming service, putting it ahead of another giant in the same market.
And cooler temperatures continue into this weekend. I have that full forecast coming up.